find that really interesting. So APECS is really, really happy that you accepted our invitation, and we want to extend our appreciation.
Okay, thanks. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but I have enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Olivia Lee from the University of Alaska. She's going to talk about walrus and bearded seals. Her title is Walrus and Bearded Seals Go with the Flow. Olivia, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Can you see the right screen? I'm not sure which one's actually what you guys are able to view.
Right now we're seeing your PowerPoint, and we can hear you fine. So the platform is yours.
Thank you. I'm going to try and start this PowerPoint. Does that look all right, everyone?
We can see your notes and your animation right now, so you might just want to do it.
I'll try and change that screen over. Yeah.
So maybe you can just put it like as not the slideshow mode, and we'll see your slide, and just reduce like the thumbnails. Yeah. And then I think that will be good.
I guess that's the problem with having
two screens. Yes. Oh, you just okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
Better?
Yes, that's great.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. Let me move this over here. Okay. So, okay, thanks. Quickly, I'm going to try and stay on time here. My name's Olivia Lee. I work at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and I do a lot of research looking at the habitat of bearded seals and walrus. And in case you didn't know, the screen here is supposed to highlight where the walrus is in this picture, but I guess my animation's not working.
No, but we can see your mouse.
Oh, okay. So that might work, but I did have a fun animation trying to get that going. Oh, sorry, technical difficulties. There we go. Is that better?
We can see your animation right now.
Okay. So really briefly, I wanted to introduce the concept of CI system services, the ability to look at CI's observations using the relevant scales, in particular being able to incorporate hunter perspectives of what CI's conditions are relevant to them in order to look at CIs as habitat for bearded seals and walrus and the shared CIs used between these animals and hunters. I'm going to go really briefly over the methods and then focusing on the results and discussion. So CI system services is something that was introduced in a paper in 2009 with my co-author Hayo Aiken. The idea is to think of CIs as providing services akin to ecosystem services, so provisioning, supporting, cultural, and regulating services. And they provide different services depending on the time and space scales that you're looking at what CIs does for the Arctic environment. So focusing on the shared CIs use, both Yupik and Inupiat subsistence hunters in Alaska have a very unique, very important relationship with changing CIs conditions as it affects their ability to successfully hunt marine mammals. For walrus and bearded seals, on the other hand, CIs provides very important habitat supporting services as well as a platform for foraging, molting, and nursing behavior. During the early spring and winter, there are known habitat partitioning occurring amongst the different ice seals in the Bering Seas, in particular with walrus and bearded seals known to associate mostly with broken pack ice or pack ice with leads that allows animals to have access to open water. And for this particular study, I was looking at changes in behavior and associations with different CIS conditions during the spring migration period. So you're all, I'm sure, very familiar with our observations of changing sea ice in the Arctic. So we do know that there are seasonal changes between the winter maximum and the summer minimums. There are changes in the decline of the overall sea ice extent that has been quite widely publicly known, and then also information about changes in the concentration of multi-year sea ice. So the sea ice is getting thinner and it's also getting younger. but what does that actually mean to the subsistence hunting communities that live along the Bering Strait and along the Beaufort and Chukchi Seas? Well, we wanted to investigate that, and we looked at 9 different communities along the Bering Straits and the Chukchi Sea here, highlighting where all the different communities are. And the idea was mostly to focus on observations of sea ice and how that changes over time. And the study was going to investigate in particular how changes in sea ice from both a local perspective and broad-scale satellite remote sensing perspective affects hunting behavior and the use of sea ice habitat for bearded seals and walrus. So because I am getting started with my research project, there isn't a whole lot of funding. So typically my view of a walrus is really quickly. This was one time when we did an overflight through the Chukchi Sea, and unfortunately that does not give you as good of an idea of the relevant sea ice conditions that hunters face. So we focused on using community observations between February and July, again focusing on the spring migration period. We used this rich collection of data from SciSoNet, and I have the website listed there, which allows you to actually search for some keywords, observers, if you know the names of the observers, the different villages that participated, and the date range to give you information about animals observed, sea ice conditions, and hunting conditions. We also used data from the Sea Ice for Walrus Outlook program, which provides information to help subsistence hunters safely plan hunting activities during the spring season. We did a quick search for the common names and the native terminology for both walrus and bearded seals to pull out relevant sea ice observations. Then we did a quick qualitative assessment of the type of content that was available in each of these observations using a concordance word counts. And then finally, we categorized sea ice data based on the local observations, and we also used broad-scale remote sensing satellite imagery to characterize regional sea ice conditions. And then finally, we did a randomization test to look for differences in sea ice use as observed by hunters and by remote sensing imagery to look at what sea ice conditions might be relevant to spring habitat for walrus and bearded seals. So here are the different categories that we used. In the local sea ice conditions, we had 9 different sea ice categories ranging from no ice in sight to category 9, which was very heavy pack ice. And then at regional scales, we were mostly focusing on the